Professor Karen Fredrickson-Goldson at the University of Washington in Seattle is on a mission.
Because it's so important that people make their voice heard.
She's piloting a first-of-its-kind survey for LGBTQ+ seniors in Oregon.
Why is that specifically so important to you?
Because LGBTQ older adults are a largely invisible population.
The survey aims to track health disparities and where the state can make improvements to help those historically oppressed and underserved.
We have to remember these people are trailblazers.
Max Mukosi runs Sage Metro Portland, a nonprofit that helps connect LGBTQ seniors with social and health services.
Many grew up in the 40s, 50s, 60s, where they were discriminated against in their workplace, by their family members, by their friends, and their churches. We have many long-term survivors who are reluctant to access services because of the experiences they had then.
For some, job loss, isolation, and inability to adopt mean they don't have much support now.
Many are living alone and don't have that younger family support.
We see higher levels of depression, poor health.
They're accessing the world through a lens of trauma and post-traumatic stress disorder.
This survey will serve as introductory evidence that more support is needed.
While some people will ask the question, well, why LGBTQ older adults? Aren't they just like everyone else? But what we have found is that they do, in fact, have very distinct experiences. And so this is a way to help understand what those needs are.
Professor Fredrickson-Goldson is part of a national study to find these answers and specific needs in different states for LGBTQ seniors.
Many feel as if they're forced back into the closet because many aging services do not feel safe.
The survey is open through mid-July and is confidential and anonymous. Findings will come out later this year, all with a push for positive change.
So while there are disparities, they're a very resilient community, and in many ways, they have lessons that we can learn for all older adults.
Galen Ettlin, KGW News.